My name is Shivika and I belong to Dehradun. So I have done my schooling from St. Mary's Convent School. So I was born and brought up in a small place called Vikasnagar, which is located in Uttarakhand. So there I did my schooling till class 12th. And after that, I came to Dehradun to pursue my higher education. So that was the time initially, that was the first time I was out of my house. I was out of my home, and then I started, my graduation, you know, um, started, like away from the parents. So that was a time when I actually pushed myself towards this goal of, opting for anything. So yes, I did my graduation, and after that, I started working. I mean, there was a gap of around probably 9 months because that was the time when I was, seeking for the jobs, giving so many interviews because as I was a fresher. Yeah, so it was very tough for me to find a right place for myself, like what to do, how to do, because there was nobody to guide me further. And I did BBA in my graduation. So there was few organizations which were not even taking BBA. They were like, no, it is not a professional course. You have to do BCom to get into any sort of a job. So I actually went to almost a lot of places to get a job, probably Delhi, Gurgaon, Faridabad, and then comes to Dehradun. After 9 months of struggle, I found a job in Career Launcher, so which is located in Dehradun. So there I started up my journey of of work, of being a professional or a career growth, you can say. And currently I'm working as a career counselor and an IELTS trainer. I've also taken a lot of soft skills projects, trainings, PDB sessions to various schools and colleges around in Dehradun and around places as well. So yeah, that is a bit of my introduction, and yeah.
Yeah. So, Shivika, as said, you said that you like have done or you studied BBA, right?
Yes.
So, how clear you were, when you decided that yes, I want to do BBA, and why exactly you decided BBA and all?
Okay. See, students like us during that time, as I told you, I belong to a small place called Vikasnagar where I did my schooling. So we were not having had that much or that option of a career counselor that time who was to guide us. Like, okay, so these are your interests, and you can pursue with this option. So BB was a new course that time. Yeah, and I saw a lot of people going for BB as an option as a course for their graduation. I actually planned I also do MBA after BBA. So that was the reason basically I opted for BBA because I wanted to get into a management field. Or probably you can say I want to, because I used to see myself as a businesswoman. Okay, I want to do a business, I want to run an organization probably. So that could be the reason I found a course like BBA to, just to get into MBA. But due to XYZ reasons, I actually was not able to opt for MBA like later on. But then, these experience made me that much enough to, get myself, situated at some position where I can find myself, okay, I can do this now, or I can, become whatever I wanted to become. So yeah, these are all the experiences that I gathered. But yes, I was not that much clear about BBA because everybody was going for BBA, so I opted an option for BBA. Like everybody's saying, okay, let me also go for this.
And after BBA, how tough it was for you, to have a career or to decide like where exactly you want to go, what kind of jobs you were looking and all, how you decided to be a center manager.
Okay, so after BBA, once I completed my BBA, I went to Delhi to search jobs, in different BPOs or many XYZ organizations. There I got a job even in an IT sector. I was not even clear about the IT sector. What is IT sector? Being a management student, how can I get an inside knowledge of an IT sector? But anyhow, I got through the job. Trust me, I left the job within a month because was not able to get anything in my, like, on my head. Like, what do I have to do? I'm not built for this job. This IT thing is not my thing that, yeah, I have to do like in my future. I came back, and then I did a lot of research, what to do, what not to do, because I know that I have to work now. Opting for studies, for further studies, was not an option for me at that time. So I rigorously searched for the jobs, like where to go and what to do. Then actually I plan to go for bank PO exams. Okay, chalo kuch nahi mil raha, so let's go for bank PO exam, because many of us have this mentality, trust me,
Exactly. I
that you're
agree.
not having any other option. Okay, let's go for bank exams. Government job hai, safe, secured, everything. You'll
Right.
get good options for shadi also. So
Right.
safety, security, everything is purposely filled. But trust me, inside me, I was not ready even to take that. Because of the parents. Like parents kehte the, go, at least go for coaching. Go for
Mm-hmm.
government.
Right. Right.
But inside me, I knew that no, I'm not meant for the government jobs, not especially the banking thing. Okay. But anyhow, um, when I went to careers, when I went to CL, so I mean, I was a student there. I was doing, I did my coaching from CL for MBA. So they knew me anyhow. So then they told me, okay, we have a vacancy as well for a center manager. And at the same time, you can opt for coaching as well from our own institute. So ठीक है, I was like, yeah, very sorted. Okay, so I'll be able to manage my expenses as well. I'll be able to get work as well, and at the same time I'll be able to get coaching as well. So I was like, okay, ready. ठीक है, it was absolutely fine for me. Then I shifted back again to Dehradun. I searched for a PG to stay nearby to my institute. Then I started working. Then once I started taking the responsibility, I thought that banking is not meant for me. I left the coaching. I was no more interested in the coaching. I made my parents explain that, trust me, I don't want to go for this banking thing. Probably you have that opinion in your mind that if a daughter will go for the banking thing, for a banking job, it will be a very good opportunity. But trust me, it is not for me, because once you get into a banking thing, you can't explore options,
Exactly.
because
Even
you're
in the
stuck.
government jobs.
Exactly, because you are stuck at one place. You can't even
Yeah.
leave your job if you even planning to leave. So I don't want to surround myself with that sort of an option, that if I ever get an opportunity to even move abroad, I have to think a lot of times, like, do I have to leave my government job? Can I leave my government job? No, I don't want that kind of a headache for me. So anyway, I continued my position as center manager, but there, I trust me, I learned a lot of things. I was like that kind of person. I usually tend to take a lot of responsibilities because I want to learn things. Until unless I'll not take the responsibility, I'll not be able to learn anything.
Right.
Experience makes you perfect. The degrees are must, theoretical knowledge is must, but the practical knowledge is far more important for you. So there, with my 2 years of tenure with CL, I really did a good job. And being a center manager, I actually managed a lot of things. I used to do counseling as well of the students who used to come for the course. I mean, what course or what like they wanted to go for CAT, MAT, or bank PO course, SSC course. So I gained a lot of knowledge about those courses as well. Yeah, and at the same time, I used to counsel students as well. So through that, I was able to recognize the psychology of the person. Okay, what the student wants out of me. That is very important for a counselor, to get to know from the first insight what the students want out of me, to catch that key point and then explain the student what that particular thing. So there I learned a lot of things: how to counsel the students, how to manage my staff, how to manage the entire institute, how to schedule the classes. I did almost every sort of work there, by managing their storeroom, to managing the classes, to making the schedule, like everything almost, because I wanted to learn work, because that was the time I could explore all the opportunities. Money was not a matter for me, just that I had to pay my PG expenses, so that was enough for me to earn that much of amount. But yeah, I was able to survive, like in that sort of salary, you can say. But then when I started doing a course, like LLB course at the same side, because it is always in my mind, I want to do law, just not just because I want to get into a law as a profession, just to gain knowledge about law. Okay, because a lot of people ask me this question: why did you opt for law? Like once you were doing BBA, then you were working as a center manager. Then why did you opt this option as a law? Then I actually explained that not because I want to get into this field. I mean, not everybody who is doing law wants to become a lawyer. I have a different opinion regarding that. I want to make myself, what we say, aware of all the laws, so that wherever I'm going to stuck in my life, individually I can manage all the things.
Because in corporate sector, that is the kind of a thing which is
Exactly.
really important nowadays.
Exactly. And I think this should be made as a compulsory subject for the students in their school education, that they should know the basic laws at least.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, so after completion of my 2 years, then I hunt for the new job, because I was like, okay, that threshold was there that I want to leave CL because of XYZ reasons again. Then I started my journey again of hunting for a job, because in Dehradun, it is more of a, like a naukri to find a job, because people here don't understand that you have that capabilities. This is like a story. I mean, it was again a naukri for me to find a job. Then I took a gap of 1 month. I started hunting for the job again. Then I visited an institute where I started working as an IELTS trainer. So that was the first time that I started working as an IELTS trainer for the study abroad. So I worked with Innovative Future Steps. So with Ravinder sir, I actually learned a lot of things. Trust me, that was a you know life changing step of my life, because there I actually learned about the study abroad, about how to train students for IELTS, and how to do their career counseling towards the subjects that they want to opt for after their class 12th or after their graduation. So I worked there for around 1 year, and with that also I was taking a lot of soft skill projects, training projects, because I really like speaking or expressing myself. So that's why I want to get into this training module, so that I'm able to express myself, and I'm able to get expressions out of the other people as well, because they have a lot to speak,
Right.
but they actually don't get to know with whom they have to speak. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to get into this training profile. Anyway, after the completion of 1 year, then I shifted then myself to another organization, which is again which actually turned out to be a very good opportunity for me, which is SelaQui International School. So that was a boarding school. That's a boarding school in Dehradun. So I worked there for 2.5 years, like before I got married. So there I handled the multiple profiles again, because wherever I used to go, I used to handle multiple profiles, just because of the reason I want to learn work.
Multiple
Not
hats.
I am like really you know thinking about the people, okay chalo इनका काम कर लेते हैं. No, I was selfish for my own reasons, because I wanted to learn work. Yeah, so there I got the opportunity to work as a career counselor as well with the other person with me. I worked as an admissions manager as a marketing manager. So I there I learned a lot of good things about how the boarding schools work, how the marketing happens. I was not even aware of how this marketing takes place, but there I got an inside knowledge about marketing, about how these admissions happen. There I used to handle a lot of parents who used to come to drop their kids to the boarding school or to take the admission to a boarding school. So they used to interact with a lot of people. Again, I love interacting, I love speaking. So I really gained a lot of confidence while working with Salakoi. I used to work with a lot of good people. I mean, that environment was really good, and I learned a lot of good things. That was a confidence booster time for me. And there I met a lady called Mrs. Manju Sharma. She guided me, okay, you can opt for this career counseling course and try to make you, because I have already done IELTS training. Yeah, and while working with Innovative Future Steps, I actually did my PT certification as well while working with them. So it was a certificate, which was done by the PTE organization only, and it was a 1 day training certificate. So there they guided us about how to do this, PTE, and how to teach students about PTE, how to handle or how to handle the questions. So there I got an inside knowledge of PTE, and I got myself certified for PTE. So that was the first step I took, to get myself certified as a PTE trainer, because in Dehradun we don't have much PTE trainers, certified trainers. So I was the one to represent Dehradun at that time, to get myself certified, during that time. But anyhow, while working with school, I actually, put more focus on admissions and marketing rather than focusing on the correct, counseling thing. Then I met Mrs. Manju Sharma, Mrs. Manju Sharma. So she there guided me, you should also step your, one leg towards career counseling, because it is going to be a really nice option for you. Already know how to get an insight of the person, because you're already into this field. And probably I'm not in psychology as a subject, but I can, by experiences, I have actually, completed that thing of, how to get into the into the people's now, what they want out of me. I can easily, recognize that thing. So there I started doing my certification course from GCC, which was a career counseling course. It was a course for 9 months, the entire year, certification. And there, while working with SelaQui only, I complete my entire course. There were a lot of rounds of the course. Like I have to appear for the Viva also. I have to complete the assignments also. So it was a very tough course, but it was counted as a very valuable course for my life. I got my certification from there after the completion of the course, and that was again a life turning moment for me, because I started building my profile by doing these, courses, the certification courses. Anyhow, after working with SelaQui, while working with SelaQui, I got married. Then I had to leave my job, like, because of the timings, and also the place were very far away from my home. And then I had to again take a gap of a month because of the marriage thing. Then I started hunting for the jobs again, but thankfully I was that much capable to find a job in a, in a very quick manner, because I have established, till then I was so much established that a lot of people knew me in my city, and I was easily able to get the job. Then I started working as a soft skill trainer with uh, this Avalon Aviation Academy. So this is an aviation academy for the, to train the students for the air hostesses or the hospitality, courses. So there I worked as a soft skill trainer for a PDP trainer. I used to guide them for the interviews, the students. And the meanwhile, I also, started my IELTS project. I mean, I was, what I was doing is I started working with institutes as a freelance IELTS trainer. So that at the one side I can even, continue with my IELTS, profile, and at the other side I can also work as a soft skill trainer or the PGP trainer for the students. So that was a moment. After working with Frankfurt, with Avalon, I joined this Tula's International School. That is another boarding school. I joined there as a head of admissions and career counseling department. So working with them, I arranged a lot of seminars with the different international universities. I guided students towards what they have to do, because till that time I got a lot of knowledge and a lot of insights about the different university. Because at SelaQui I learned again all these things. And while my mentor, when she used to arrange all the, the seminars or the universities where I used to participate, and there how I was able to get contacts of all the universities people who used to come there. So that was the time I actually started making up the contacts as well with the different universities, because as a counselor it is very important for you to get the knowledge about all the good universities, what are the admissions procedure, what are their courses available in. So that's how I gained a lot of knowledge about the like the different universities. Then working with the Tulas, I arranged a lot of seminars, universities fairs for the students. So it actually helped them in a lot of good ways, because they get to know a lot about the college. and their admission procedures, scholarships, which is again very important part of students who are planning to go abroad for their further studies, and courses as per their likes, as per their interest. Then this COVID situation happened while I was working with the Tulas. So again, the same thing happened. I had to take a break. And then from there, while sitting at home, okay. So before that COVID happened, I planned to get myself certified for IELTS as well. So in the month of January 2019, I guess, in 20, I went to the British Council to get myself certified for the IELTS. So I got my IELTS certification from there, and after that, this COVID thing happened. So that's how I planned that I'm going to start with my own venture now. I want to work as a freelancer in this field of the career counseling of IELTS and PTE. So there, my actual journey started of being a career counselor, of being an IELTS trainer, or being a PTE trainer. So initially, for the entire 1.5 years, I firstly, like initially, I worked in an institute where I used to run my own classes. I used to do my own marketing to, to get to get the hold of the students. And being in a small place like Dehradun, a lot of students actually, get to know about you by the personal references. So that's how I used to get a lot of students. And but this COVID thing happened, and I had to shut down my classes, and I started this online platform, which actually turned out to be a really profitable thing for me, as in because I actually got students from all over the world. I have trained students from Sri Lanka, from Dubai, from Russia, from Oman, from Canada, from US. So this is how I y- utilized my COVID time by uh, by getting the students from all over the world, because I wanted to get that insight of all these students. Because if you're not working in a physical manner, so if you're working online, so it is better for you to get these students from all around the world. Yeah, so that's how I started my this thing. And currently, being a mother also, I don't get enough time. But yes, just not to take a break in my career, I am I'm enough capable enough to manage my time with the baby as well, and with my work as well. So I'm currently working as a freelancer again with a lot of institutes, and that too probably in Canada as well, Oman as well. And I'm working as an IELTS trainer, I'm working as a career counselor. So yes, I mean, I'm satisfied with what I am doing. But yes, the goal is yet to achieve. These are all these small goals that we have to attain. Yeah, and yeah, so the road is yet to be taken. It's not like the only the same road that we have today. We have to always keep changing our roads, but don't forget the actual thing what you have to do. So this was my entire journey. This is how I did my certification. This is how I did my studies also. So probably because of the experiences that I got throughout my journey of jobs, or the professional life, I'm am able to make it up to here.
That's really nice, interesting, really interesting.
Thank you so much.
And if I'll ask you, like, you have worked with different organizations,
Correct.
right? With the schools and with the institutions on different positions, and you have like taken a lot of responsibilities and all.
Correct.
So how exactly these things help you to develop different types of skills, and what kind of skills you have developed, and how
Correct.
exactly it help you to reach where you are today?
Correct. See, I was not, I mean, while working, I got really confident enough about myself. I was able to recognize my skills, what I'm good at. Yeah, because I only knew one thing. I want to get into a job of 9 to 5, and, to work for anyone with whom I'm not able to learn, because I am the kind of person, okay, for your organization, if they're paying me a good amount of money, but the work is like in a monotonous way, I don't bother about the money. I used to do, leave the job, because I don't want to get into that monotonous kind of a job. Yeah, so this is how I learned the skills, because while working with the different people around you, you have to check the people, you have to catch the people. You know that this person has this kind of a skill, so catch that skill from that person, learn from them. Because the time when you're working, you're not a expert, you're not an expert, you are a learner. So it's better to learn the skills at that time, till the time you attain that level that where people are, coming to you to learn something from you. Yeah, because I have this learning attitude in myself. Yeah, that, and I actually am the kind of person who really, really value time a lot. I mean, I was like, okay, so I used to give myself a deadline. Before marriage, I have to get myself, settle at this place that I'm able to learn this much amount of money. Then after this, I want to get myself, capable to earn that much amount of money. So I used to give myself a deadline. Probably my parents were after me, okay, this is a high time, you should think about it. But I knew in my mind, no, I know that when would be the right time will come. Because this struggle is really important in everyone's life. I mean, if the person has not done any struggle, they will not actually get to know the real experience. If they're getting everything on platter, I think they will not really value that thing.
Right.
Yeah, that struggle is really important.
Right. And according to you, what is the role of a career counselor? How important, according to you, to have a career counselor?
See, career counselor, I mean, it is really important to have a career counselor. It could be anyone. It is not like the person who has done their course or the certification. It could be any of your mentor. It is very important because students these days are not really, they are not really aware of what they have to do, what are their interests. They are capable of doing a lot of things, trust me, but again they are not able to catch their skills. So career counselor's job is to, make them understand or to make them guide towards the right path. Because what usually used to happen is, see, in my case, I did BBA. I don't know what BBA has served in me, like for me in my life. Probably if I would have done a better course in BBA, then I would have reached another, maybe another job profile or maybe any other thing in a better way. Okay, so this is a major reason for a career counselor, in order to make students aware of what they are good at, what and what is the entire process if they want to go for any, university education, if they want to opt for a scholarship. Because parents are not that much aware of the, courses available or what are their kids in. Because sometimes what happens is, कि बच्चे भी parents का इतना इतना comfortable नहीं होते.
Exactly.
For that thing we need a
Right.
career counselor, because she is a psychologist as well.
Right.
She will be able to understand you, or he will be able to understand you in a much better way, and you will be able to open yourself. See, if anybody wants to opt for music, so
Hmm.
career counselor will guide him or her ki what thing you should do or what skills you should possess to get your, entire career in music. But if we'll say the same things to the parents कि हमें म्यूजिक में जाना है, majority of them will feel like कि नहीं यार, you don't have any career in music, what will you do, you have to do only to struggle. तो फिर तो बच्चे स्टेप बैक ले लेते हैं.
Right.
इन केस जो वो जो बच्चे वो अपना स्टेप बैक ना ले, वी नीड अ करियर काउंसलर. बिकॉज इन माय केस आई बिलीव दैट यस, counseling was really important.
Really nice. And what are the good things about your profession? What exactly are the things that you like the most, whatever you are doing
I
right now?
they get to interact with a lot of students, yeah, from all over the world. And obviously, once you are teaching anyone and they get that desired score, you really feel proud of yourself. That mentoring is really a valuable thing that I really, admire in my profession. And when students really like your classes, appreciation is a thing that you really need in this profession, the gratitude. So when I get this from my students, back from my students, I really feel good about this. I really feel very proud of myself. In fact, the other person is thinking whatever about me, but I really feel good about myself. Okay, I've really done this, I have achieved this thing. So this is really good about my profession. And the second thing is, yes, I usually get to interact with a lot of students to know about their life, to know about their experiences. That really motivates me, basically, to know about the others' experiences.
That's really nice. And sense of satisfaction,
Exactly.
happiness, because you are helping somebody,
Exactly.
right? And what are the challenges and how exactly you deal?
Challenges, see, I mean, if you're talking about the professional life, there's no challenge. If you're talking about the personal life, there
Yes,
are
yes.
challenges. There's not even a single challenge. There are challenges like to how to manage time with responsibilities in your head, how to how to give yourself even time to to polish your skills more, how to manage with the classes. So these are the challenges. Basically managing time is a challenge for me these days, because as I have a baby as well to look after, and she needs me more this time because she's also learning how to walk, how to crawl, how to
I,
speak. So she needs me at the same time. Yeah, so managing time is a challenge for me these days.
so how exactly you are managing that thing?
I I usually takes my classes when she sleeps. So I manage my time in that way. I know when she has to sleep. I have properly, you know, मतलब मैंने उसका जो routine है proper ना discipline way में बना दिया है, that you have to follow this routine, and that's how I'll be able to take my classes. I know when she has to eat, when she'll sleep, so accordingly I manage my time. And yes, I have people around me at my home,
Hmm.
who actually supports me a lot. And like I think without their support I may not be able to work in such a confident way or in a such a relaxed way basically. Yeah,
Right,
so it's,
right. Okay, and as a counselor, PT trainer, IELTS trainer, what are your roles and responsibilities?
first is I have to polish my skills first. I mean, I have to do my homework first. See, if I'm giving training to students, or if I'm teaching students, I have to do
Be
my
prepared.
homework. And my role and responsibility as of now is I work as an evaluator as well, where I have to check essays, IELTS
Hmm.
writing, and
Hmm.
plus I have to take the individual speaking of the students. I mean, around 10 to 15 students every day in that 1 hour time frame. And also, since that I'm teaching the students, I have to provide them with the practice sheets, with the latest practice sheets, with the latest questions, so that they can practice in the same way. And they can get the entire insights about the IELTS and PTE. So I have to update myself like according to the exams, and according to the questions, that are actually, which are basically the latest version of IELTS and PTE. Yeah, so these are my only, I think, job like responsibility, because I'm only working as a trainer as of now.
Okay,
No other
and
work.
okay, and how one can become, successful in the area, like the path you have chosen.
You should have that spark from inside, and you should have that push from inside first. I mean, if you know that you have to become this, but there's no push from inside, then I think it is not that easy for you to become something that you really want to become. Also, follow a right career path. I mean, what are the steps involved to achieve that particular target? See, theoretical knowledge is really very important to get to know about the skills, the methodology that is required, but also experience is in the same is really required. The struggle is required, because if you're working as a fresher, then you should know that you have to come out of your comfort zone and then you have to work. You can't think that, okay, I have to just work 9 to 5, my job is done, and I'm going home. No, you have to come out of that. You have to come out of that zone, that you have to work according to the time. No, you have to give yourself extra time to get into that particular target or thing. So yes, I mean, this thing is really very important, and the right career path again. That you should not get deviated from your goal, and always try to form a short-term goals rather than opting for a long-term goal. You should have a long-term goal, obviously, but first try to attain that short-term goals, because that after every time, after few time, that you need that motivation, you need that appreciation, that you will only attain by having the short-term goals.
Right. And education wise or qualification wise, if
Education wise, qualification wise, it is definitely important. See, if I talk about my profession, I was into the admin field like now, in a previous manner. So yes, BBA really helped me a lot during that time, because BBA is all about the management thing. But as an IELTS or a PT trainer, I think I could have done English honors, so that could be an added advantage for me. And obviously these certification certification courses are really important for you because they will really polish your skills in a lot better way. And also PTs, PT training, IELTS training, CELTA is also one of the it's also one of the certifications that you can do if you're planning to go for this, to train students for these courses. Because even I am planning to do, but yes, maybe sometime later. Yeah, so these things, I think this is really important, the right education qualification.
And what all skills one needs to develop, like basic skills?
Confidence, very important. Your expressions, the way of expressing, you have to be a natural speaker. Your convincing skills, counseling and the convincing, and your convincing skills are really important for this, for this profession. And you should be able to understand each and everyone in the way they want you to understand. Not everybody is equal, okay? Because as we interact with the students, not every student is perfect in their way, so we have to get to know about each student in a different manner. Yeah. And yeah, because these are really important skills that you require if you want to become a trainer in this profession. And yes, as an added course, you can also do a psychology, because I also did a short-term course in positive psychology in during this COVID time. So this would, because that was an online course which I opted for. So yes, you can always do this, small certification courses which you think are required in your field. So yes, psychology is also one of the major important thing that you should get into.
Okay, that's great. And one line to your, the whole career from center manager to career counselor and trainer.
It's not even one line. Okay, one line is really tough for me to get
No
into.
problem. You can describe it little bit.
See, starting from that edge, yeah, because I actually started from the edge. It was a scratch that I made, and then I achieved that level of position where I think that yes, that scratch was really good for me. That pain was really good for me. If I would have not taken that pain, I couldn't have achieved this position. Because I can also sit at my home and say, okay, my thing is done. Yeah, I've done I've done my studies. Okay, so I'm just free. Because as a female, it could be one of the options for me. Okay, but yes, I came out of my house, and I thought, okay, no worries, I have to do this. So that scratch, that pain was really important for me at the initial time, because I know that struggle was real and that pain was real.
Right.
So I can feel the fruit or the essence of that pain now, which is really very fruitful for me now.
And last but not the least, tips or advice or any message for the other people who really who wants to come into this field of counseling training.
Guys, just plan your thing. I mean, just do a step by step planning, and value your time very much. Because what happens is, if you procrastinate your thing again and again, okay, I'll do it, things will never happen. Just do it at the right time, just do it at the same moment, because you never know when can you get that opportunity, and then you have to lose it. Okay, so plan your thing, do your qualification, complete your qualification, complete your education, try to get your job, and try to give interviews, basically, because interviews makes you more confident about yourself. Don't go through references, go for interviews. Judge yourself, like what are you good at, know about your strengths and weakness, and try to learn. Okay, have that learning attitude in yourself. Yeah, so I think these are really important things that one should have.
Okay, really nice.